Hello there, Qckslvrslash here, and today I've got another How I Play. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, and it felt appropriate for me to make another one. And since the friendships are still relatively new to the game, I thought I would focus on how I play the Algérie. And the reason I'm picking this one is A, it's where I'm at in the line. I'm not to tier 8 yet. And B, it's kind of the first ship that becomes distinct. When you look at the tech tree, like Qckslvrslash and the Emile Bertin, they play a lot like other ships, specifically kind of the Königsberg and um, the Nuremberg. They're not too different. They're thinly armored. You know, they have 9 small guns. The guns are just in a different layout, but the ships play similar. Whereas the Algérie is the first of the line to wind up getting the 203s, and that kind of changes how you have to play her. So quickly, let's dive into how I've got it set up. Now, this captain came out of my Dunkirk, and I haven't really figured out what I wanted to do with it yet, so I haven't really changed anything. Preventative maintenance, I've stuck with expert marksman because speeding the turrets up always helps, and I'm sure there's other tier 2 skills I could be using. Then at tier 3, I've got superintendent and demolition expert. The reason I've gone for this, A, those speed boosts, they're actually really useful, and having the extra defensive AA and stuff, also useful. And then demolition expert, because you play a support role a lot in this ship, I find you're at distance using HE to try to start fires, so it helps. And then the one that probably doesn't help me as much is fire prevention. That was more a Dunkirk thing, but it doesn't hurt to have. As far as the actual modules go, pretty standard, all premium consumables, because I find you can still make money in this game using them, which is awesome. So I've got magazine mod 1. Why? Well, I don't have enough Juliet Charlies, and I kind of have to save those flags for competitive play because in a competitive environment like ranked, you simply can't afford to detonate. So I don't want to be using those on random battles anymore. Mod 2, aiming module 1, damage control 1, and then I've gone with steering gear. The ship is fast, and with that speed boost, it's really quick. At range, being able to wiggle a little quicker really gets your butt out of some damage. So let's hop into a battle and see how she goes. It looks like I am dropping straight in, which is great. And as I was speaking about a bit in the port, one of the major things to this ship is, playing that support role. Whether you're top tier or bottom tier, it's not an amazing ship to really push things, at least not early on. You don't have the armor to get lucky with. So you have to wait until you've got that strategic opening to make your dive, or enough of the enemy team is dead that you can start maneuvering in closer to put some AP and the torpedoes to use. And speaking of torpedoes, they're pretty decent. 90-second reload, 14,833 damage, 60 knots, which isn't the fastest, but it's not slow by any means, and 9 kilometers. It's 1 kilometer shorter than the Japanese, but longer than the 6K or 4K that the Germans and Russians get respectively. So looking at the map, knowing I am big, I'm going to go to A. And this may or may not be a good idea, but I want to get up near this island here, and then I can kite out to the side if need be, or press in. Off the start, I'm not going to use the speed boost. I save the speed boost for 2 occasions. One, when I engage in a gunfight. If I start, peppering a BB at range, I get that speed boost going. It allows me to speed up, slow down, and just overall more effectively dodge shells. And then the other time I use it is if I find myself way out on a flank, say I was chasing something down, kill it, I then pop the speed boost to get back into the fight quicker. As anyone who's chased a DD off to a corner knows, it can really suck because you don't get a ton of damage killing a destroyer. You need to do it because maybe you need the pressure off or he's the last one. And then you're so far away from everything, you don't really get the opportunity to shoot at anything else and kind of get the damage in. So it's looking like I may have a little help. The Molotov has come to life. And as you kind of expect, well, maybe not. Looks like they are, for the most part, avoiding Charlie. You normally get that suicide run into the islands, and I fully expect someone to come through here. And that's where the torpedoes come in. They're already loaded, and just gotta wait for this 9-kilometer ring to basically be at the edge of the islands, kind of in that channel. And that's one of the really important things. When you're launching speculative torpedoes, look at the range that they're going to and where they're going to stop. Right now, they stop halfway through A. That does nothing for me. Now, if I can get them a little deeper, further into A, perfect. And ideally, I want to be able to shoot them right down that gap because it's probably where ships are coming from. I am detected, so it is time for me to get moving. It's a Qckslvrslash out on the flank. I don't really want to duel him one-on-one, but I feel I can. I've got some good islands, and I'm going to launch these torps now because they're pretty much right on how deep I want them. You notice they're going to go down that gap and mess with anyone who tries to push through there. Now I can't let this Qckslvrslash stay out on my side. As I kind of spoke earlier, the ship doesn't have the armor to really get lucky. So I'm going to do a bit of a maneuver, and I'm going to open up around the edge of this island and then start falling back to my battleships. I've got some decent cover. Unfortunately, that spotting plane did detect me. But speaking of spotting planes, I can put my fighter in the air and get some detections on this graph. And now that I can see them, it's time to shoot. At this kind of range, I probably could have used the AP, but because I have Demolition Expert, I went with the HE and lit a pair of fires. So he's letting it burn. That's a rather interesting choice. Unfortunately, torpedoes are still reloading, but he has turned off. So I'm comfortable to continue out on this flank for now, kind of just kiting, and I'm curious who is spotting me. There's got to be a destroyer somewhere nearby, and that could be an issue. Alright, time to swing this booty. This is why I have rudder shift. Well, I would have dodged those anyways. All skill, no luck. Graph is going pretty slow now, and I definitely need a fire here. And of course he speeds up after I shoot, or I just misread his speed. If I can get a fire here, it will be huge. And there's that frickin' Fubuki. There we go, 2 fires, those will burn. Now I do wish I had radar, sadly I don't, so I'm just going to have to opt to get out of here. The fires are going, I've got damage coming in, and I'm just going to run. I've got no reason to push in tight. It's only going to get me in trouble with that destroyer. And slam on the brakes. This is another perfect example of where speed boost is really useful for, when you need to stop suddenly. Everyone always thinks of it as just, oh, it gets me somewhere a couple seconds faster, but it lets you accelerate and decelerate faster, and really useful when you've got shells or a ship coming in. So those fires are still going up to 20,000 damage, quite happy with that. And I'm still alive. I've lost some health. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to take a shot at that Pensacola. But I can't push in there. With a Fubuki kind of guarding the gate, that's a no-win situation for me. And really, this Nagato in New Mexico shouldn't be pushing out there either. That's gonna be a mistake for them. They've got a York with them. If the York can get ahead, they're gonna be okay. And maybe I should turn and push down, but I also see what's happening in the middle here, and I want to support our team. They've done a really good job capturing Charlie, although we just lost another ship, and we're actually down 3 ships to none. Good, we got one. And here's the Graf Bay. Let's see. Can I go 6 for 6? Shells are looking half decent. Come on, fire. No fire. Oh well. I got pretty lucky earlier. And I'm gonna try to just kind of put some harassing fires on some of these ships and just keep my distance. You can see the guns are half decently accurate. They're not bad guns by any means. And you can see that Graf Bay is almost gone. You have to give them their flight time. They're kind of like American shells, I find. They don't have the flattest trajectory, but they don't quite have the loft of the Americans. And as long as you keep yourself kind of outside of, that 10-kilometer range, you're maneuverable. I was going to say you're stealthy, but you're not. You're not a destroyer. You have no stealth. This thing's actually got a pretty big base detection, but with the speed boost and a quick rudder, you can make sure ships never really have the opportunity to shoot at you. There we go, get my fire, switch targets. And the reason I do this, once again, is to force that damage control, which you can see the Fuso has, and we know it's active for a few seconds, so it doesn't make sense to fire the next volley at him. I can try to get a fire on someone else, then come back to the Fuso. And this is how you really maximize fire damage. And some may say it's cheap, but it is part of the game. And it's really helpful for teammates who've got torpedoes. And you can see this Fuso's pretty much stopped. I am gonna get cheeky and do the same here. I really want to get a fire before I disappear behind this island. And I might just be able to get it. I've got shells coming in from their Emile, and I end up ducking under them because I stopped, and I can get going again. And since I can't shoot one target, just keep your guns going. That's really the key to success in this game, is just not stopping to shoot. If you can't shoot who you're focusing on, get the next guy. Always take shots at the opportune target, get the damage in, the rest comes with it. And the Fuso just ate some torps. I got a fire. Can I light him on fire as well? You can pretty much guarantee that Fuso is flooding right now, and you can see he is losing the health. I get a fire. Perfect. Well, that's all I care about. I'm going to get damage on him. It's time for me to go in attack mode. This Emile is side on, 10 kilometers. It's AP time. And you can see these ships are fast. I led him what I thought was a decent amount, giving him a lead of 10, and it just wasn't. Hopefully these are a little better. And perfection. I get a Citadel, the kill, and now it's time for the Gneisenau. Or Gneisenau. Or however you frickin' pronounce it. Because every time I pronounce this ship's name, someone comments that, oh, you're doing it wrong. It's supposed to be this way. So I'm just going to go back to calling her the Nessie. And you can see these AP shells are decent. I don't use them a whole ton just because I do have that really good fire chance. But they're worth use once in a while. And I get a little lucky there. I wasn't paying attention. New York had a shot, but he way underled me. And that's what happens. When you've got these speed boosts, people, I really do find, underestimate how much lead they need to give you, and you can get away with a lot. Now, unfortunately, I don't think my torpedoes are going to hit, and I'm just keeping myself maneuvering back and forth, a little bit here and there. If I don't get a fire on this next volley, I am going back to AP. I've got to get serious damage, although it looks like our New Mexico's doing the honorable thing. Going for the ram? Maybe not. He's repairing. I think he turned. He overcommitted. Come on. Let's get this guy burning. There we go. AP is on its way. And Got a New Mexico right behind me. This Gneisenau is dead. New Mex is pretty much stationary. Graf Spee is still alive. Oh, crap. And you can see one of the downsides of this ship. The guns are not the fastest. But I've got to get my butt turned and going. I cannot get any closer. He's got torpedoes. He's got some pretty punchy guns. And I don't have a lot of health left. He doesn't either, though. There is that. And I think my torps are going to force him to have to turn. His rear gun's no longer on me, so I've only got one gun looking at me, although our team is in dire straits. It's just me and this Nagato now. We don't have any caps. We've only got 17 points, so either of us die. It's game over. And this won't be a win, but I'm pretty happy with the performance. Maybe I should have done more about that Fubuki. I kind of felt it wasn't going to go well for my team, and it didn't. Pick up Arsonist there, and it's AP time, if I can get out of this alive. We've still got a Fubuki somewhere around here, and that Pensacola is actually what's really concerning me. The New Mexico as well. I'm a little closer than I ever want to be to ships that can cause damage. Okay, we know where the Fubuki is. I'm going suicide hunting. I'm going to keep my guns working on this Pensacola. I was going to say, try to help my teammate, but it's over. And unfortunately, it was a loss, but the whole point of these is just play a game, commentate as I go, try to talk about my own strategy. And overall, 194,000 credits, 2,900 experience, got the Arsonist, just shy of 77,000 damage, got a pair of kills. If we had a few more points, I really think we could have gotten that Fubuki, and I feel bad not going after him at the start there, where I talked about it, but I can't alone face off against 3 cruisers in this thing. Maybe someone can, but my best game is played at a distance in this. I can get the damage, I know when I can dive in, like I did on that Emile, get a kill, you know, get some citadels, pump AP into things, remove ships from the enemy team, but it's certainly something I can't do all the time, and I choose to keep it range for the rest and just try to get damage to help the team. And it's a shame that Graf Spee didn't die earlier. He was down to like 2,000 hit points. You saw he managed to recover a lot of it back. But I did top the team. 791, nothing to call home about, but no one in this game, I would say, really stood out. The New Mexico did get 4 kills, but not a ton of experience there, so I suspect it was kind of, you know, cleaning up some stuff. When you look at the damage, the Graf Spee, just from that pair of fires, and then wiping him out at the end there. The Emile, 1 citadel, that's all it took. He didn't have a ton of health left. The Nessie, 25,000 damage, worked on that Fuso a bit. And then the Pensacola, the New Mexico, I really wish I had a chance to sail around that corner and just go ham at that Fubuki, because I'm not afraid to charge a smoke. Late game like that, you're not losing anything. And overall, walked away with 113,000 credits and just shy of 3,000 XP. Commander getting a little more because I've got that Zulu Hotel. And I'm just one step closer to the Charles Martel. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing to the channel. And as always, I'm Qckslvrslash, and I'll have another one later.